Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. Or, in modern-day English, Polonius from Hamlet once stated, "Be careful of the pounds in your wallet." But, to be honest, we can't help ourselves. The almighty money has put us into the cash-frenzy society we live in now. People desire to climb up the socio-economic ladder, and the exquisite life of the wealthy has always been a personal goal to many middle-class men. So, yes, delicious food, social parties, loving friends, you can perhaps buy all of these. I admit that I too believe that money can buy you happiness, but sometimes I would rather be crying but living in a mansion. However, I often recall my own experience in theater to remind myself about something I would never trade in for cash. As a member of the school drama club, I am proud to admit that the plays I put on with my friends are not the best in quality. However, despite the low production costs and the lack of a large audience, I believe that whenever I put on the cheap costume I wear and become someone else on stage, that experience is something that I would never trade in with a bag of money. I am engrossed in the scene itself, and I become that mad king named Jeffrey. I become that cosplay fanatic called Carter, and it would just seem so unnatural if a fat cat were to come to me, give me his wallet, and ask my character, who's supposed to be a comic relief, to weep and moan in front of him. While a bit exaggerated, this scenario is not a mere fabrication. There have been senior club members who wanted to change the script we wrote, or school teachers who wanted to censor some parts of the play, and even threatened to cut the school club funding if we didn't. Every one of us in the club hesitated, but in the end, we put on the play in its genuine, unmodified form. Because if money tempts me to change myself, I would falter, but in the end, I would soliloquize. "No, I am my own actor. I am the one to decide." And if some outside force wants to bend the rules, I may not have the power to stop it, but I retaliate. I put that part of the play anyway, or I go against the script, extemporize, and convey the message I intended to deliver to the audience. William Shakespeare once stated that all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. But sometimes we are in doubt. Perhaps not all of the people are merely actors. Perhaps there are playwrights or puppeteers that are tugging the strings while the rest of the world goes by their bidding. Surprisingly, history provides an example to this tragic situation. In 18th century England, the first Prime Minister, Robert Walpole, passed the Licensing Act of 1737, which initiated over 200 years of censorship for the English theater. Walpole used his political influence to actually prevent any creative mind from writing a satirical play about the government. The tragedy is that he imposed lower excise taxes on the market in exchange for the passing of this act by Parliament, and thus persuaded members of the Parliament to suppress the freedom of the drama by allowing them to save some of their money. Now, even to this day, when oil tycoons or influential businessmen squander their dollars to lobby lawmakers and bend politics to their heart's content, we lose, little by little, our hope for an equally happy society. However, the 99% of actors have been rising up. They don't have the coins to erase the script that the rich men have written, but they do have the power to ad-lib as actors, to not play with the rules. The civil disobedience 19th century philosopher Henry David Thoreau demonstrated against the exorbitant poll taxes of his time may be one old example. The Occupy Wall Street movement may be a much more recent one. Actual plays also reveal the cleavage between money and personal beliefs. In Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman, delusional businessman Willie Loman wants his two sons, Biff and Happy, to pursue the American dream, to follow his footsteps and become the successful businessman he always wanted them to be. He even commits suicide to give the insurance money to his son Biff and help him start his own business. However, Biff ultimately gives up on becoming a businessman because he believes that money can't drive his own life. We often wonder why so many millionaires or lottery winners are unsatisfied with their lives. But drama-wise, earning a fortune and letting money do all the work for you is like jumping straight to the ending of a play. We don't call that happiness or satisfaction, we call that a spoiler, because we aren't as satisfied as we could have been if we saw the story start and resolve from the exposition to the conclusion. And it is this experience, the unfolding story of life, that is something we cannot trade in with money. Money can buy you the script, but it cannot buy the scene. Whether you're a crumb of the upper crust or the leftovers dwelling under, it does not matter. because we are essentially all actors of the world and the main characters of our own lives. Do not allow money to change or spoil you, because money can buy you one of many possible scripts, but it cannot buy the scene. Thank you very much.
This is the end of